Okay, so I'm gonna get going. I will just briefly kind of give you my story for those of you who don't know me, and then we will launch in. First of all, thank you so much to Kelsey for asking me to do this. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you. I met Kelsey in April at the Most Powerful Women Conference, which is amazing. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. It will be in Las Vegas the first weekend in March next year. And we got to chat a little bit poolside, and I just fell in love with her. She's amazing. I know you all already know that. I was really impressed with her story, and not just her story, but her positivity and her drive and the way she has just made her business work despite some really big challenges. And she's just awesome to be around. Hi, Kelsey. So I was just talking about how great you are. And, you know, I know you all already know that because you're here. You have a really, really great leader, and it's very exciting. Little bit about me. I am originally from Michigan. I have been living in Los Angeles for the last 10 years. I moved out here to go to law school. And at the time I started Unique, I was working as a full-time trial attorney, about 50 hours a week, and my daughter was 2. I was that person who, you know, every excuse in the book when you reach out to someone about signing up. I was too busy, I had no makeup experience, I was cynical when it came to direct sales, I thought it was a pyramid scheme. I never had taken a business class in college, I had never taken a sales class, I thought personal development was cheesy, I hated when people posted those stupid inspirational quotes. I was a trial attorney. I was trained to not have to be nice to anybody, not try to sell anything to anyone. I was trained to be aggressive and confrontational. So this was way, way out of my comfort zone. And I originally signed up just because I love the mascara. I was supporting a friend, and I had a couple of friends say that they wanted to buy it too. So I got the kit thinking, oh, well, you know, it's good makeup and maybe I can earn my money back. I did not hit yellow my first month. I did not sponsor anyone for my first 6 weeks. I did not really take it seriously. When I was in Michigan visiting my childhood best friend, Krista Lee, I showed her the mascara and I showed her how cool it was. And she said, well, you know, let me try it out today, and if I like it, maybe I'll sell it. And so I had signed up my first person the night before, which was my mom, because she felt bad for me, and I made her. And so it's you know, day one of me having a team. And Krista tries out the mascara, she goes to work, she loves it, some friends love it, and she comes back and says, okay, I'll do this, I'll sell. And so she signed up. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and the next morning we woke up and she had $600 in PRS. And she's like, oh, that's pretty good, right? At that time, I don't think I even had $600 lifetime PRS at that time. And, you know, she just took off. She's still my lifetime top seller on my team. She's purple status now. She's very close to black. I think she hit fast start in 4 days, yellow in her first week as well. And that kind of motivated me to think, okay, I started to look at the comp plan and think, ooh, I could really make something of this. So I started to take it seriously. I grew more and more. 4 of the first 5 people that I sponsored are elite status or higher today, and I hit black on Black Friday of November 2014 in 7.5 months. And I hit black with only 19 personally sponsored, which is definitely on the lower end for that. We did a thread this week in the Black page where everyone was asking, how many personally sponsored did you have and what was your PRS the month you hit black? And mine's definitely on the low side, but there was, you know, somebody else I know had only 14. So that kind of ties into what I'm going to talk to you about today. Hi, Jen. Which is launching strong with your business and starting your new presenters out strong. So jumping back, I hit black status November 2014. I was on top of the world. I thought everything was great. And about a month after I hit black status, my husband and I separated, and he moved up. And I was still working full-time at the firm, and so all of a sudden, everything was harder, right? I was truly a single mom, and I was still working these crazy hours. I was getting home at 9 o'clock at night. I was trying to find time to work my business, so I'd work from, you know, about 9 o'clock at night until 12 or 1 and then get up and do the whole thing again. I was missing a lot of time with my daughter. She had her first recital, her first winter recital with school, and I was not there because I was in trial. And I got to this point where I realized that something had to give. I mean, all the reasons that I was striving to be successful in this business were not being realized. And so I knew that meant that I needed to work a little harder. I needed to grow a little more, because while I was doing really well, I wasn't financially in a position to leave my firm. So I spent the last 6 months of 2015 really with my nose to the grindstone. And in December of 2015, I left my full-time job as an attorney. So I've been doing Unique full-time. This is my sole business for about the last 6 months. Hi, Tiana. Welcome, North Carolina. I lived in North Carolina for a little bit, Wilmington. So that's me. I am going to be speaking at convention this year about compensation plan for beginners, and they've asked us to also tie in a little bit of the steps that we would suggest when you're brand new, what to get started, what to set you on that plan so that you can be doing really well right from the start. And so I'll cover a little bit with you now, and then at the end I'm going to go into a little bit of the summer slump, right? The scary phrase that's going around right now. Okay, so like I said, hi Stephanie. Like I said, I hit Black status with 19 personally sponsored, and of those, 4 were elite status, and I think I had 13 that were qualified out of my 19. So, I say that because I want you to understand that you don't have to have 200 personally sponsored to get to Black, or even 100. I mean, there's some people do have it that way because there's a big range, but what matters more than how many people you have is the quality and the work ethic of the team that you have. So the very first thing I want you to think about, I'm not even going to try to go into the art of sponsoring, because your upline Kelsey is just the best there is when that comes to that. There's nothing that I can give you that she can't already tell you about. But I will say that what you want to always be doing is thinking about the kind of team that you're recruiting for. And what I mean by that is, in your recruiting techniques, are you saying, anybody can do this, it's so easy, you can spend an hour on this a week, or you can sign up just to get the kit? Because while those things may be true, some of those things may be true, what happens is, if you are using those tactics to recruit, then don't be surprised when you're looking at your team and you see a bunch of zeros, PRS, the whole way down, because that's what you told them they could do. So, I try to always think about, when I'm doing anything sponsoring related, what do I want out of this? I want somebody who wants to work like I want to work. So I'm always crafting my recruiting language in that manner. So I'm not going to tell anybody it's easy, because I don't think it's easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. I'm going to tell people, hey, this is a lot of work, but if you are willing to work with me, these benefits are amazing. I have time with my daughter I never have. I don't have to work the 9 to 5. I can do live videos in sweatpants like I'm doing right now, and this is work. So going into that, how do we step up that, when you get that new presenter, how do you get them to start out strong? So, you've crafted your sponsoring language so it's in line with the team that you want to build. Now you start building that team. I have a new presenter training video series, and it's 4 videos. I like to keep my videos 5 minutes or less. We're going to go long here, but I hate the new updated live. I can't see how long I've been talking to you because I tend to get wordy. But I like to keep my videos 5 minutes or less, and that's because I think it's really hard to get somebody to commit to an attention span longer than that. And so I have 4 videos, I have them broken up, and when somebody signs up with me, and they're all, if you want to look at samples, they're all on my YouTube channel under Kai Lauren. Once someone signs up with me, I send them video number 1, and I say, watch this, do what's in here, and then come back to me once it's done and let me know when you're ready for the next one. And the reason I do it that way, instead of just giving them all 4, is because that lets me know whether they're a walker or a runner, so that I can stay at their pace. So if somebody is, a week down the road and I haven't heard back from them, I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're not really serious about this. But if somebody comes back and says, okay, I watched all 4, I found the other 3 on your YouTube channel and I'm ready to go, I'm like, great, I'm going to move at your pace. So that's the first thing. Two markers that I believe are kind of markers of early success is you want to make a sale in your first 72 hours and you want to aim to hit fast start. And I think every one of the leaders I have on my team now has done both of those things. Hi, Chantel. Hi, Stephanie. I might have said hi to you already. So what do we hear a lot when people first sign up? How many of you hear, well, I want to wait until I get my kit before I start trying to sell? I hear that all the time. One, I think that kind of comes from fear because they feel like they're not prepared. But I believe that you are doing a disservice to your business if you are waiting until you get your kit to announce to people that that you have launched a business. Like I was telling you about Krista. Krista hit yellow before she'd even gotten her kit. And I think she hit fast start within a day or so of getting her kit. You do not need your kit to get started. Now, a lot of times, your people who are new presenters are going to be former hostesses or former customers. So odds are they've already tried the products or already have some of the products. And in that situation, great. What you talk to them about is you don't have to have all of the products yet. Work with what you have. You already know what you like. You already know what cost you to sign up. So let's start working on taking photos or making videos with what you have. Now, if you have somebody who's signed up out of the blue, who's never tried anything, or maybe you don't have a relationship with yet and they don't have any of the products, that's still okay. What I always suggest that they do, the first thing they do is send an email to everyone in your contact list, men and women, and let them know that you've launched a new business. Say, hey, I'm so excited about this. Thank you so much for your support. Here's my website. I would love for you to start taking a look. More information coming soon. And the reason you want to do this before you get your kit is because once you get your kit, you're going to be taking photos and you're going to be making videos and you're going to be posting all the time. But as we all know, a lot of people don't buy from you the first time they see you post something. I have someone who finally just bought, I've been in this business more than 2 years, and I have a customer who's been watching me the whole time, never said a word, never liked anything, and finally just bought product from me. And that's common, right? That happens a lot. So what you want to do is get that email out right away as a primer to tell them, I've launched a business, because you can open your business. If nobody knows you're open for business, no one's going to shop from you. So I try to do that have my new presenters do that in email format and on their Facebook page. So right away, it's kind of perks everyone's ears up and they're looking for more information. And you always want to say, more coming soon, so they know there's something to build for. And then the next thing that I do is, like, when I have those new presenters, I do a lot of hand-holding in the first month, a lot. And after that, I kind of scale back. And the reason is, I believe that as a leader, and you don't have to be black status to be a leader, you're a leader once you've sponsored that first person. As a leader, the most valuable asset that you can offer to your team is your time. Because you are offering the expertise that they're trying to build. And if they don't make the most of your time, that's okay. That's on them, but that's what you can offer them. And so I offer a lot in that first month. And I know it's hard as we grow because, maybe if you have a big team or you're starting to sponsor a lot of people, you're like, oh, it's kind of tough to keep up, or it's tough to be reaching out to all these people and still growing my own business. But I try to remember, there was something that another Black status leader said a couple months ago, and what it was is, it may be frustrating to answer the same questions over and over again. It may be harder as you grow to have time for people, but the person who signed up with you yesterday deserves just as much of your time and effort as the very first person you ever signed up. They should not be penalized because they signed up farther into your journey. So I try to always keep that in mind. Now, after the first month, I back off a lot. And I let them know, I am here, I am available, I will help you with whatever you need, but you must reach out to me. I am not going to reach out to you. Now, I do a lot of check-ins periodically, but I don't ever want to set my team up with the mindset that they don't have to do anything until I reach out to them, because that's not the way our business works. If you want to be growing, if you have questions, you need to be reaching out to your upline constantly, showing them that you're eager to grow, not sitting around going, well, my sponsor hasn't contacted me in a week. Because your sponsor's probably reaching out to her upline trying to grow too, right? So, one of the things that I hear a ton, oh, Kelsey, you are doing a great job at it. One of the things that I hear a ton is I'm too busy. And I hear this in a recruiting sense. I hear this in the sense of why people can't join when people get started and they're not doing a lot. It's, oh, I'm too busy. And I think that's part of the I want to wait till I get my kit is because they're putting it off. They're too busy. I want to wait till the weekend. I want to wait till summer when the kids are out of school. Whatever excuse that is. I'm not super sympathetic to the I'm too busy story because I just told you my story. I was super busy. I made it work. You know, Kelsey made it work. But I think what that is, or how we can help there, is to help with a shift in mindset. So, what do I mean by that? There is a perception that you have to change your life to make your unique business fit, to make it work. And that's not how you're going to succeed here because we're all busy all the time. I've never met anybody who didn't think that they had a busy life. So the only way you can make it work, you can't change your life to fit your business in. Change your business to make it work with your life, right? So Kelsey's a perfect example of this. She spent the last several months in the hospital. So she easily could have said, well, I can't do this right now because I'm in the hospital and I have other way more important things to attend to. What she said was, hey, I found a window at the end of the hospital hallway with good lighting, and that's where I did my videos. So this is what my life is now, so I'm going to adjust my business to make it work. So for me, if you've seen any of my videos, my daughter's featured a lot. And that's my life. It's, you know, it's not because somebody made a comment about trying to capitalize off my cute kid. That's not what it is. It's, I'm a single mom, I'm working from home, she's around, so my options are, hey, I can try to fit it in when I have time when maybe she's asleep and it makes it really stressful, or I can say, hey, this is my life, my kid wants to be on camera too, and I want to be with her, so I'm going to make this part of my business, and my business can work around my life. So one of the other things that I do is I suggest that my new presenters make a video in their first week. And what I tell them is, hey, make it with the intention that you're never actually going to post it, because I think that takes the pressure off a lot of people. And if you don't get them making a video right away, a lot of times people will push it off and push it off and push it off because videos are really scary, right? I even still get a little bit of jitters doing a live video like this. So the sooner they can do that and get over that fear, the better. A great app that I suggest is Viva Video, because what I tell them is try to do a makeup demo. Doesn't have to be something huge. All my makeup demos are super simple tricks for people like me who are busy moms that maybe don't wear a ton of makeup every day. And with Viva Video, you can set it to music. And so that takes some of the pressure off. If they don't have to talk, they can just do a demo and put some text at the bottom and set it to music. So it's a good place to start. Last part on getting new presenters started, don't beat yourself up. Please, please, please don't beat yourself up. So many times people come to me and they say, you know, I sponsored all these people and now they're not doing anything and I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? I'm not a good leader. You can't, so like I said, I sponsored Krista and she just took off like that. If I were to come back and say, oh, I'm an amazing leader because I sponsored Krista and she took off, no, it's not about me. It's about her. I was a good talent scout that found the right person, but that success is on her. So if I'm not taking credit for her success, why am I going to beat myself up over the next person who signs up and never does anything with the opportunity? The best I can do is try to show them how this opportunity changed my life and how it's changed other lives, and give them the tools that they need to do the same. But if they don't take advantage of that opportunity, you cannot want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And you cannot beat yourself up over somebody else choosing not to do that. So I'm going to shift gears for a second. I'm going to talk very quickly about the summer slump. And My views on this are a little different from some other leaders, and I know this may be controversial, but I'm telling you, like, this has worked for my team. This is my 2-year anniversary of hitting green. I hit green in the summer. My first 2 elites, which got me to purple, both hit green in the summer in July and August, and that's Krista and Brooklyn McDermott, who's a black status presenter now. Carrie Knapp, who is my sponsor, hit black in August. And my first personally sponsored black, Brooklyn, hit in January in the J months, which is another slow month. So on my team, we don't believe in the summer slump. We don't believe in slow months. We don't believe in any of that. And that's how I'm going to approach this, is the summer slump is a lie that we tell ourselves, okay? Retail takes a dip in the summer and takes a dip in January, and that is well documented across the board. Gift industry takes a dip. We are not in the gift industry. We are in a consumable cosmetic industry. And I have never met anyone, ever met anyone who says, it's the summer, these are slow months, so I'm not gonna wear mascara. So, you know, when business picks up in September, contact me then and I will buy it then. No, mascara is like milk. You run out, you go get more. So if they're not buying it from you, they are buying it from somewhere. I believe that the summer slump comes from us being busy. And so, you know, we're out and about, the kids are out of school, we're on vacation, and so we're not working our business as much as we could be. And then we use this justification of, well, it's the summer, it's slow anyway, and so we kind of like don't work. And then what happens is in September, when everything picks up, you're at a standstill where the people who have been working their business all summer are racing by. And I have a video, I'm going to avoid going into too much detail on this because I do have a video on the summer slump on my YouTube channel as well that I'll post in the comments here. So that's great. How do we avoid it? This goes back to what I was talking about not changing your life to make your business work. So that's great. You're on vacation. I have 4 vacations in this 4-week span that we're coming up with. And my business is not going to suffer. We were at black status by day 7. I already have over $1,000 PRS and I have not been home basically at all this month. So what you do is instead of making your business come to you, you go to it. So if you're on vacation, great. Bring samples with you. Make an effort to talk to people when you're on the road. Have, I have these little bags that I carry in my purse all the time, and it's got a business card, and it's got sample size. I use like perfume vial samples for our foundation and uplift, and then I use these little jars for like self tanner and our skincare line, concealer. And what I do is I have those with me everywhere. So when I strike up a conversation with somebody about our products, I have something on hand that I can take out and show them right away. And we always have our cell phone with us, right? So you could be processing orders while you're out and about. You don't have to take one step back in the summer. And in fact, I think that's a way more fun time to work your business because you're out and about. So you get to be doing all this fun stuff and still working. Hi, Susan, and thank you. So, one of the things I went to a Botox party this weekend. Don't tell anybody I get Botox. And I brought my trunk with me. And so I didn't say anything. I brought the trunk. I sat down. I opened it up next to the table that we were all sitting at, kind of chatting. And I just set it there. I didn't say anything. And eventually someone was like, oh, what's that? And then I was like, ooh, you want to play? Fun. And started pulling stuff out. And I had my little samples so I could show them the full-size product. If they were interested in something, I could give them the samples so they could put it on right there. And then if they liked it, they could buy it either through my website or from the stock that I had. And I did about $500 in sales for something that wasn't a scheduled home party, wasn't, should have been a day where I was busy with something else where I couldn't be working my business. And it ended up paying for that service and more for me. So, our life is still going to be busy. So we're not changing our life, we're changing our business. I carry blitz cards with me everywhere, so I always have them. I think it's a better alternative to business cards because they're bulky, they stay in your purse, people have to pay attention to them. Like I said, I have samples everywhere. I mean, this month, come on, free foundation. Like our kudos is free foundation. That's such an easy thing to market. And So what I've been doing is I'm going back through my orders for the last 6 months, and anybody that ordered concealer or liquid foundation or primer, I'm reaching out and I'm saying, hey, I know you really like X. Did you know, or the brush, did you know that you can get a free foundation this month? Did you know you can get a free brush this month? Did you know you can get a free concealer? And I'm tailoring it to their needs, to their likes. And then I'm doing the same thing with, we all have those people who have told you they're interested in something but haven't actually bit the bullet and made a purchase yet. So I'm doing the same thing with those people, reaching out. And I try to do that 5 a day. The other thing I do is a monthly email, and I use smore.com, smore.com, and it's free service, and I do a monthly makeup demo. And they're very simple. I'm not a makeup artist. These are for busy moms or people who maybe don't wear makeup every day. So the last one I did was 3 easy tips to get brighter eyes. And I think the video is about 4 minutes long. Like I said, I keep them short. And I had so many people who were coming and making purchases off of that. And I didn't try to sell anything. It was just informational. Here are 3 products I use that you need to have in your makeup bag. And the reason I bring that up is because it's really easy to get caught up in this sales mindset of we have to sell, we have to sell, we have to sell. But nobody likes to be sold to, right? I don't like being sold to from other direct sales companies. When I see something on my Facebook feed that says buy this or join me, I'm immediately turned off. Even though this is what we do and I understand that's how it works. I want somebody to offer me a service. I want somebody to tell me, hey, my kid's sick and here's what you can rub on her feet that's going to make her feel better. And that's what's going to get me to buy an essential oil, not somebody's post that says, oh, look, I have these 3 oils on special today. So I try to do these monthly videos to offer a service to my customers. I don't give them any pressure to buy. I don't even, I'll put a link at the bottom that says, if you liked this video, here's where you can get these products, but that's it. And every month, without fail, I do this at the end of the month, and it gives me an end of the month push in my PRS because people don't feel sold to, they feel like I helped them with something. So think about that in the context of your own business, and what kind of service are you offering to your customers? What is it that sets you apart that's going to make them want to come to you? Because anybody can go to Sephora and buy what they need, but that's where you're going to make a difference, is you can offer consultation, you can offer tips, and you don't need to be a professional makeup artist to do that. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, I'll go through and I can answer those here. I'll hang around on the team page for a couple hours afterward for those of you who are going to watch the replay, and you can ask questions. You can always send me a private message too. And like I said, I have a lot of those videos on YouTube that I mentioned, so if there's anything that you want me to share in the comments here, I'm happy to do that as well. Thank you again so much for having me. It's always fun to get to talk to new people, and Kelsey, I adore you. I was like tearing up looking at your post on your personal page before I got on, so I was hoping I wouldn't be a weepy mess when I talk to everyone. Thanks again, ladies. Have a great Monday, and I hope to meet all of you in person at convention.